Qube are one of the biggest logistics companies in Australia. Qube have determined to take on the Maritime Union of Australia. We are not going to cop our workers and our national frameworks being torn apart and the weakening of wharfies in the company that employs the most wharfies in Australia, but that company trying to undermine the national structure of wages and conditions that have been put together since 1999. What we've been able to do was to go to all of the sites and map them entirely, and where we had to spend our time and attention in moving people to win the debate. We've been able to do that. We probably wouldn't have done that unless we were challenged by Qube. And we'll be rolling out a distinctly different approach with regard to big stevedoring enterprise agreements from now on, basically as a lesson from the initial point of Qube's attack, but also on the way that DP World consistently moved the goalposts during their EBA.
And it's a wonderful day whenever workers stand up and tell their employers, we're not going to cop the shit you're going to put on us.
We learnt lessons. We must change. We must change our bargaining approach. We need to do a thoroughly scientific organising approach, otherwise we will lose.
The workers from the DP World docks have been embroiled in an industrial dispute for nearly 12 months.
We need to know that on every shift there's a delegate. We need to know that on every shift they're handing over to the next delegate. We need to know that there's total and complete communication right throughout all of the workplaces that's seamlessly consistent. We need to make sure that our delegates are educated and our delegates are totally across the organising approach that we need to apply when we enter into big stevedoring enterprise agreements. Qube have 15 sites across the country. They've determined, instead of having a national Part A agreement, to have 15 distinctly separate and different enterprise agreements. Our national framework and our unity across the ports is our strength. It's what delivers our capacity to make sure that the weaker ports, outports, small ports where there's less work, workers that are significantly more vulnerable in big city operations are protected. And we protect them through a national approach. Qube have recognised this and have attempted to tear apart the national approach.
Do we want to be the generation that gives away penalty rates?
No!
We are not going to do that, and we will fight, and we will fight, and they will have to drag us out of this joint before we give penalty rates away, and we've said that.
They put out 3 separate publications to the workforce calling for workplace bargaining agents other than the MUA, even in the ports that we had identified as not the strongest. We withstood that attack.
They refused to come to the table, they refused to respond to offers of settlement that we put on the table, and when we take our protected action after 5 months of an expiry of an agreement, they lock us out. They think by escalating this, you guys are going to lose your medal and walk back in there with sunken shoulders, with your head down, and say, yes, sir.
Every single member nationally in every single of the 15 ports stuck fat and knew that the MUA was their union and was going to bargain in their interests and was their vehicle to a better life.
Let's give them a big round of applause.